Okay, so what we've got to work with today is a photograph. I can see on the image there's a big lot of flare up the middle of it, but that's all right. So we have a white strip around the outside of it, which is known as the carrier sheet. The photo is placed onto a carrier sheet. It's like posters and things. You can have that. Now, if we were just looking for a frame, you can say, okay, what size do I need to go and purchase a frame or ask my framer for? You would measure from the very outside of the image, here to here, and from here to here. The white would be taken off. So you would get there, in this case it's 345 millimetres by 215 millimetres. So you're looking for a frame of 345, so roughly 13.5 by 8.5. Now that's not a frame you would normally size. It's an odd shape or an odd size. So the next scenario is you would buy a bigger frame or ask your framer, and I'd like a mat board, a window mat as such, to mount this into a frame. Now when we get asked a lot, people will measure right to the outside of the photo. Now we're not sure whether it's the outside or otherwise, and people are a little bit confused. When we put a mat board or a window mat over the image, we will actually come in approximately 5 mil on each side, all the way around, to cover the edge. Due to temperature, humidity, moisture, I suppose humidity and moisture are the same, but that doesn't matter. The photos expand at one rate, mat boards another, and if there isn't enough room, it will actually pop out from behind and then it buckles and looks funny. So two ways I could measure that. As I said, 345. I could take 10 millimetres off that, 5 mil on each side, or a 1/4 inch if you're working in inches, off each side. I normally like to come in and just say, all right, look at my image, and I will put the ruler and then go 345 by, in this case, come in about that distance, by 205. Why I work that way is, in this case, the image comes almost to the top. So I can have less allowance on the top. If I just taken 10 mil off everywhere, it might cut some of that image out. More critical with some certificates and things where there's parts you want. So if you're having a mat board, you come in sort of 5 mil or a 1/4 inch on each side, just to cover those edges. Now I've got this stuck down. That's just a quick way of doing it. Now that's the same for any piece of artwork. If you're having a mat board or a window mat, you would come in that distance. If you were just after a frame, whether it be a poster, a canvas on a board, a painting on a board or something like that, you would measure it right to the outside. If you're buying a frame, they're the dimensions you're working with. If you are asking a framer to make up a frame, you would give him those dimensions and tell him that's the exact dimension, because he will actually make your frame slightly bigger than that. We'll get into that on a different video. So that's just a quick one on measuring artworks for either going in a frame or having a mat board.